Hello everyone, this is Panda. Give me a few minutes before we start, okay? Because, alright. I think that's a pretty nice view, don't you think? Alright, so I need to see my framing. Now, reading not on my laptop, using my DSLR cameras to actually do this, using the iPhone 11 Pro Max to do this, I need to see my composition. Okay. So, just to give you guys some context on my surroundings and how I'm shooting this iPhone 11 Pro Max, I got the ubiquitous, I got two of them, LED ones with a bounce light, which I'm using the gold reflector bounce. For my brown skin, gold actually really stands out better than silver. So I do have a 48-inch reflector, 5-in-1 reflector, bouncing light right back onto this side a little bit. You may see it, but I don't know. Take it with a grain of salt. So, with that said, but this is my setup. The audio that I'm using is a Comic-Con and my receiver, which looks like this. And the microphone or the transmitter. So with that said, everyone, there is about a 20-second delay, I notice. I try to fix that in YouTube's app, make sure that it's on low latency. So it seems about 20 seconds, but on the laptop it's more like we were getting yesterday roughly between 5 and 10 seconds most of the time. So it was pretty darn good. Hey Bruce, how are you doing, Bruce? Good to see you, friend. Good to see you, friend. I got a couple of things I want to talk about, and that includes the topic of this video, because it goes to show you that how humanity sees homeless people as non-existent. But anyway, I just want to make sure I got my composition. Do I need to brighten this up a little bit? Let me see here. No, I don't need to brighten this. I need to stay away from the wall, dog. I don't want to create a shadow, a harsh shadow. A light shadow is fine, but a harsh shadow is not very good. So you can see that it's about a 20-second delay. But I really wanted to emphasize and stay on this side of the camera, well, this side of the frame, so I can leave something to add on this side of the frame. Because I do have a plan to re-download this and re-upload it with some animations but I may not do that. It's just gonna download it just for safekeeping if I do want to tackle that task and maybe re-upload the video. But with that said, everyone, I'm the Panda Photographer, and I am a travel homeless photographer, documentary, and consultant. Let me give you a little bit of background about my portfolio. I'm self-educated for most things. I'm a fast learner. I lived in Wisconsin for a couple of years. That was great, by the way. Uh, Partially moved to Vancouver off and on, and then now I'm trying to get back into Vancouver, but money is tight. When you do the things that I do as a YouTuber and try to survive on the streets and do it legitimately and not try to rob people or stick people up or do things that it will hurt people. It feels good that you can do this with the power of a smartphone. And not just the power of the smartphone, you got your audience to back you up for it. So I really appreciate all of you pandas out there. So thank you guys for the subscriptions, for the support, for the donations, for just leaving your comments and your thoughts down in the comments down below. It really does make that difference. So the algorithm would understand that, listen, this is what YouTube was and should be based on. Not this fake driving of content that you want from Pacific YouTubers. Now, I'm not a big fan of YouTubers, how the AI system works, because there's an amputee woman that I've been watching the last 2, 3 days, and YouTube has come down on her as harsh, saying that her experience as a disabled amputee is harming our view. And I really do not agree with YouTube's human review. All her videos have been reviewed by a human being, and they still reject the fact that she was just showing some of her. I'm going to leave a link down in the description below so you can check her out. But with that, tell everyone. Deborah is here. Welcome, Deborah. Affiliate Money with Alex is here. There you go. There you go. Do I go to co-worker spots in NYC? I do not know the co-worker spot here in New York City, to honestly be honest with you. Uh, Deborah is from Alabama. Well, welcome. Kudos to you. Kiss, kiss, kiss. Old panda hugs here. But I do want to talk about some things that I really want to talk about, what happened last night. And this is also has something to do with me and 150,000 homeless individuals living out of vans, sleeping on your friends' couches. Doesn't matter if you have two jobs and you still can't afford to pay the high cost rent. And by the way, New York City did increase their rent this year, so go to show you. And it's one of the highest state taxes in the country, 12 to 14%. That's a lot, actually. So with that said, everyone, also, I'm reading your comments through my other phone, so therefore I can keep a tab on who's in the house. But with that said, everyone, I'm the ThePandaPhotographer, everybody. I want you guys to subscribe, like, and share. If you guys want to support the channel financially, which I do need it right now, there's a PayPal, Cash App, Venmo, and it's easy to donate. It's strictly for donation only. You don't need to sign up for any of that. Well, if you do have a Cash App, you know how to send that. If you have a Venmo, you also know how to send that, because that's also part of the PayPal family tree of payments, if you guys didn't know that. But I'm here to educate you about a lot of things that I do know and what I don't know. So there you go. But with that said, everyone, welcome. Paycheck to paycheck is not good. You know what? It might not be good, but it's something, right? Paycheck to paycheck is something. Therefore, take this with a grain of salt. No one can never say you earned your right to civilization. You worked in civilization. You had a job, civilization. You got a paycheck being in the civilization. So therefore, that's an accomplishment. So, you know, but with that said, everyone, so let me actually get to the point of this video about last night's events. Now, I know I'm only about 7 minutes in this video. I should wait a minimum of 10 minutes. I noticed that if you wait a little bit of 10 minutes, more people come in, more people get to listen to the story and what the story title is described. And most people feel like you should wait about 25 to 30 minutes and then tell that main topic of that story, which I should hold off on that. But since if that's the case, then I need to reflect on some things that I want to talk about. So, let's talk about the New York City population when it comes down to the homeless. The statistics are out there by HUD, and multiple races of homelessness is higher than it was 5 years ago. I'd also notice Pacific Islanders and blacks are becoming more and more in the poverty sector, where people can't afford their jobs, people lose their jobs. And let me explain how people lose their jobs when they are in poverty. When you don't grow up in the best education in school, you don't have the discipline and the respect for others, you lose all consciousness about why you're alive, why are you a human being. your job as a human being is not to hurt people, it's to live, right? So your task is to actually fight through the days, not go against the days. When you hurt other people, you are actually going against other people. And I say this with a metaphor because there are people out there that work at fast food chains and others pay to pay checks that cannot see the light of day sometimes. And you have people that do. And those that don't want to treat, sometimes if I'm doing my job and I want to report on something, let's say I'm a health inspector and I want to report on this thing that I found that the health inspector shared with me about a location, okay? And you sit here and just touch the camera. First of all, that's assault, okay? So that's one thing you should not ever try to do. Second is you do not attack the journalist or the photographer or the cameraman or the crew. That's assault and a felony degree. Third is that when you see something wrong in your workplace, you should always say something and always report it. I have done it with my last employer. Yeah, some of the coworkers that work at the establishment did not like the fact that I was a snitch, they called it. A snitch. Yeah, a snitch. It's not snitching, it's doing the right thing. So always remember, don't be intimidated by those that don't want you to do the right thing. Do the right thing, and trust me, you probably live a better life. But like I said, even those that try to do the right thing always go through some consequences. You got people that are just violent in general, that just don't care about your well-being because they grew up in a community, in an atmosphere, in a family relationship that was so toxic, they made them toxic. So, but with that said, everyone, let's go back to the video and make sure I keep up to date with you guys on the comments. Okay, but and what I'm reading here, ethnicity, like when it comes down to non-Hispanic and Hispanic, non-Hispanic is at its all-time highest, over 400,000 K in the nation. Keep that in mind. Now we're talking about, if I keep going to the homeless population by gender, by transgender, by non-transgender, by cisgender, by gender cis, by women, dude, there's more men that are homeless than anything combined in this country. And that's over 300,000 kids. So if you look at the math, if you look at USA Facts, which does rely on hard statistics, but also you also got to think about, okay, I'm going to add this statistic to the statistic that people do not want to talk. So you got to use your head when you're out here in the streets trying to do a beat and outreach. These are folks, some of these folks don't want to be reported. They don't have to talk to you, so you don't count that as a statistic because you don't have a name, you don't have an age, you don't have a social security number, and you don't have a last name, and you're not confirmed by the date of birth. So therefore, you can't make that as a statistic if you don't have that information. So what I learned working in that field is that that is not a statistic. And if you actually do that, and most people do that because they might know you by your street name, they add you as a statistic, and that is cheating the system when it comes down to getting the funds and the grants from HUD that you need for properly. It's called stealing. So when they add these facts, I'm adding the facts on the streets as well. People are not documented. You got to add how many on average you see that don't want to be documented, don't want to use services, don't want to be part of this corrupt system that it is. It is a corrupt system because guess who's in charge? It's not poor people. It's not rich people. Sorry, let me rephrase that. It is not poor people that's in charge or the middle class that's in charge. It's the rich that's in charge. And yes, I say that's with a grain of salt, so take it with a grain of salt. But think about it. How many people in the position at HUD make over $100,000? Head charge down DC, or Maryland. It's just give or take. How many people you think is that makes $100,000 while the social worker only makes $27,000 a year, and she's doing all the heavy lifting, or he is doing all the heavy lifting. Think about those statistics. And when I read these statistics, I'm like, this has come to what I was researching in 2021 and 2020. And these are populations of 2020, 2021 mixed. And you can see that New York is actually the second highest when it comes down to the homeless crisis. So think about that one. But with that said, everyone, we got a Brit from Saigon. Welcome, welcome, my brother. I love to see you in here. This is not my house. This is my hostel room. I am sharing this room. I'm trying to make this video on time so I don't interrupt space. Right now, the hostel, the local hostel, has gone through, or currently going through some changes right now due to someone that was recently here made a false report about the conditions. Guys, how many times in this video or on my YouTube channel since I've been staying at this hostel, I never complained other than the Wi-Fi. Nah, other than people not washing their dishes, it's been amazing because you know what? I am community leader. I take charge when I'm here. I help people, I talk to people, I help clean the dishes, I run the washing machine so everyone else can use a clean condition. The kitchen is like your sacred of your home. That should be your first priority, to keep that kitchen clean at all times. Seriously, you don't want to be food cross-contaminated, don't really get sick. I had that many, many times in New York City, and many people will vouch for that as well. But anyway, so who else is in here? We have Lurch. We have Cloudfire. Nice to see you in here again. Rocky Fire 101. Wow, Rocky. From India. Uh-oh. Let me see. So Deborah's in here. Everyone else is in here. Okay. We got Lurch. Welcome, welcome. So, yeah. So I'm just giving you guys statistics on what I learned from experience as a traveler, photographer, as a documentarian, as a consultant, as a semi-pro photographer. And if you want to go to my Instagram, check my art right now. And if you need a print, all you have to do is DM me, do the Instagram, or do my website. Let me know what print you want in 11x4. I'm selling 11x4s, just prints, for $50. And trust me, the quality that I'm going to deliver to you is always top notch because I always do my printing and using TIFF files. TIFF files hold more data, more storage, more of that concentration of color. Exactly what you add, that's exactly what you get when you come on the printer. But it depends on the printing facility that prints your images. So keep that in mind. So it's always about that printing manufacturer or who's doing your printer, or you should be doing your own printing yourself. But when I'm traveling, I rely on good sources to print out prints. So there you go. So with that said, everyone, good afternoon, the Space Junk. Yeah, so Lurch says, I'm a good man. I appreciate it. But you know what would be good? Crap. I had $10,000 in my GoFundMe right now. Oh, man, Panda, you have no idea. So with that said, everyone, this video is not sponsored by anyone, by the way. This video is not intended to be sponsored or representing anyone in the field of technology or photography or videography, but I am using the Comic-Con or Comic-Key, whatever you want to call it. Blah, I digress on the name. Oh, my Panda. The MI receiver for the Boom XC system, which looks like this. Now, you guys are probably asking this weird question. What is this? This is actually an extender. So when you're using like rubber bumpers or out-of-box cases, this is going to help connect to this when I need to use audio or any other device. Now, I got these on Amazon for about $6 for two, and these have been Apple certified, actually. This was the surprising part. Normally, something that's been Apple certified is quite expensive, but this here is just an extender. It's been MFI certified by Apple. So, and this is the receiver that I'm using with no dead cat. So, just to give you concept. I pretty much think I left the links to all this stuff in the descriptions, but also left my PayPal, Cash App, Venmo. But with that said, everyone, oh, we got a spammer. Uh-oh. Would you like to? Would you like? Wait. What would you? Wait. That's what would be a good. Okay. I guess what he was trying to say. What would be a good bowl of ramen? Oh wow. A good bowl of ramen. Miso ramen. Radish. Some bok choy. A little bit ginger. Spicy. You can add your own tabagabi spice to that. Uh, yeah, and green onions and some mushrooms. Boom. That's it. That's all you need, baby. That's a good bowl of ramen. That's all you need. And by the way, I did brought some ramen that I'm going to cook. Oh, my panda. I don't mean to make you jealous, everybody, but damn, I'm going to make you jealous. But with that said, everyone, but let's talk about our topic for today, shall we? It's about 20. Wait. Okay. So let's talk about what happened here in New York City last night. A suspect that's been caught on 3 different surveillance cameras here in the lower part of Manhattan decided to go from west and all the way to Chinatown to ruin another homeless or homeless men, because there was plural, ruined their lives. One did not survive. One was shot directly in the head, in the neck as well, and did not survive. He was actually pronounced dead on the scene. Now, he's an unidentified man. No one's claimed his body yet. No one's claimed who he is yet. This is what happens when it comes down to the homeless. Our identities get taken away. Our respect for humanity gets taken away. And this is why I say never, never let city officials or someone tell you what is good for you when you already know what is good for you. Got to give them a little bit of sunshine first in order to make them see that can happen. But in this case, this is a person that did not want to be subjected to the system, like I was saying earlier. It happens quite a bit that not every statistic comes through the doors of the professionals. This is why he was unidentified, because no one has identified him, because he probably has never used the shelter in a long time. Because New York shelter systems, and everyone knows this, it's the most dangerous place. It's like a jail, it's like a prison. People actually do narcotics and other alienated substances, but people also behave in a very aggressive manner by acts of looting, treason. I say treason because they always say, I hate this country, I hate this place, I hate America, I hate white people. It's you that you hate. That's what it really is. It is you that you hate, because you hate yourself because you couldn't change. You had an opportunity and you screwed it up. Now you have more opportunities. If you think about it, you have the opportunities. You just refuse to take it. So don't blame white people or people of color or people of Asian color. Blame yourself for not standing up for yourself. That's when you got to have the balls for yourself and say, I got to do this for myself. But I digress on the topic. But, this man was homeless, an unidentified person, and no one claimed him. This is why the system has to work better. This is why housing needs to be put in place. You give people housing, they can be identified. You give people the hope and the chance they have, they can be identified. You give people the sense of friendship and love. It doesn't matter where you're from. You give the people a sense of hope. And that what makes a person feel like they have a family of their own. You make that difference. Not me, just me. No, everyone does. This is why I reach out to you for help. This is why I reach out to you for guidance. This is why I reach out to you for a little bit of a conversation. But the problem in society today is that everybody, you have to have the latest Timberland boots. Or you gotta have the latest Canadian goose jacket to fit in a group. Like, look, I spent 1,000, almost $2,000 on a jacket, on a coat. I'm in the top elite. No, you're not. You're still not even near top elite. I know rap stars that I take photographs of, or celebrities that spend 10 grand on a freaking jacket, not a coat, a jacket. Come on, you're not close to top elite. You're just pretending. So take that pretending behavior, put it to some use. Pretend that you wanted to save a life. And I'm not saying pretend you do want to save a life. I'm saying pretend to make it real enough so you can save a life. That's all. That's all. So what we got here? Rocky Fire 101 says, what do you think about the war that's going on in Ukraine and Russia? More than 1 million people are homeless. And guess what? That's the same number that we have here in North America. Because I was about to talk about that topic. Because there's a lot of information that I need to share with you so you be aware. Now, how I feel about the war, I have said that in previous videos. I feel like this is Putin's bullshit. No offense, YouTube, but take it just with a grain of salt. And you have to agree with me, YouTube. This is a unnecessary war. Just to put fear into the Ukrainian people. That's what this is about. We also know that there's untainted oil underneath Ukraine that they want. We all know that. But in my opinion, I just feel like this is an unnecessary war. And I'm not trying to focus more on it quite yet because I feel like more of the attention is on the war when we have our own war, homelessness. So, and that war is a problem because imagine if we had a system where we can help each other and no one really is homeless, right? That makes this country better and stronger. That makes this country reliable and independent to say we can help anyone, anytime because we're the United States of fucking America. That's what the dream is about, right? And this is why I said earlier on my Instagram why Trump was right. We have to make America better. But no, we can't. There's too many bigotry, there's too many, I'm better than you. I got $300 Timbs. Timberland boots, by the way. I don't care what you have. Make it society better for all of us. Contribute. Do better, do more. That's all. What you said. Amen. Wow, Deborah said, amen. I told you my husband don't buy me diamonds. I'm the diamond of hearts. Oh, I'm sorry, Deborah. You know what's the best diamond? Love. That's a diamond that is like, love is, can I say rare? Because people experience love differently. People have a different emotion, different pattern, different the psychological effect on love. So that's like the straight cut diamond. Love with like, ooh, I just fell in love with this girl. Oh my panda. Imagine that for a man. Yeah. So that's how I felt about E. So it took me some time, but I got used to it. Hero shot. Trump meant to make America great, not about getting rid of. Well, we were not trying to get to that point. Okay? What I was trying to say is that he did have a good concept and a good state of mind about making America better, making it stronger, making it reliable. But the way he did it was because he was listening to everyone else around his table. He wasn't really a good president because he's not really about politics. He's a businessman. That's what you have to remember. He's a businessman. And even if you have politician education, you got to use your civil education and your street smarts too, to order to combine all of those together to make sense of everything. But no, when you get in power, you have too much wealth, you have too much that it's not a stake. You can do what the fuck you want in office, basically. This is what the media has portrayed the politicians. Yeah, doesn't matter if you're a diplomat or a Republican. It's about when. It's like babies crying because not all of them, but some of them cry about some stupid things. Oh my panda. This is why I try not to get involved. And I understand that I need to get involved at some point because I want to actually show some solidarity to a lot of my communities. It's just the fact that I just don't want to be influenced by it because the media, it wraps you guys all in. Look what's happening, exactly what's going on in Ukraine. It took the intention that it was supposed to be, it took the attention from people that need it here and took it elsewhere. And now the US government and the Canadian government and the French government have given aid and money to Ukrainians, which is well needed. But what if that wasn't going on? What if it was not a war? Would you give your own people the same aid in the crisis need when you have this pandemic of homelessness around the world? So it goes to show you how like people want to do something when they want to look good, saying, "Oh, I participated. I gave." No, that's not how it works. You give because you feel like you want to give it. Because it's the right thing to do. But with that said, everyone, please do subscribe, like, and share if you guys want to support the channel financially. Please, there's a PayPal, Cash App, Remote. It will help me this week. Trust me, it will. And if you guys get me out of the bind this week, I swear I'll make a cooking video. I swear I'll make a cooking video. Oh, my panda. But it is true that LA's homeless people get money to be homeless. I am from Europe and I have watched it somewhere in YouTube. Wait. Dude, I have been to LA several times and I never heard this people get paid to be homeless. No. I think your concept of it is might be misinterpreted. What I mean by that is there's 501c3s, organizations that fake statistics, as I said earlier, to get grant money from either the state or government to say, this is how many people stay in here. I know him, but you don't know my real name. You just put you put my street name. And yeah, I tell you my date of birth, but you don't know my social. I come here to eat. That's it. I don't come here to use your shelter. See? That's what you got to pay attention to, is that statistic. When you enter someone's door, you're a statistic. Doesn't matter if you give a name or not. And that is where you probably got misinterpreted, because I don't see any homeless person being paid to be homeless. If that's the case, then I want to be a millionaire being homeless. Seriously, I really do. Read it again with pause. Okay. This is true in LA. Homeless people get money to be homeless. No, that's a question mark. So I had to read that again. But I did have to make it clear. No, they do not. If that's the case, then why LA is a shithole right now? Let's be honest. It's not a place where it once was beautiful, even though it had its homeless and its street crime and its crime, but it was nice. Now it's just unwalkable. Have you walked down Skid Row lately? I have. It is unwalkable, and it is a very, very dangerous place. You walk around with I'm pretty sure if I was to walk around with that phone, that audio receiver, they would think that's worth 2 grand. They would jack me in a heartbeat in LA, Skid Row. They would unify together just to get a cut. Now I'm not saying that the homeless there are a threat, but there are people out there that are really, really want money because they need a fix. They got addictions. They got maybe they want to turn on their cell phone. That's true. People rob to turn on their cell phone so they can have communication themselves. You'd be surprised how many people rob for the minimums and slightest things in the world. So keep that in mind. I guess I was agreeing with your concerning materialistic, the things I cherish, money can't buy, and beauty is inside. Well, of course you cannot buy beauty. Okay, that's just beauty comes from within your whole genome chromosome. That's just you. That's what the love comes, the beauty comes, the sexual, whoever you want to call yourself, sexual chocolate or. But you get what I'm saying, right? It's all about feeling better about doing the right thing. But in New York City, it's not. It's not that. That's not the case, friends. In NYC, it's probably only 5 degrees Celsius. Well, right now the temperature it's windy for the most part, but it is also cold at the same time. So it's decent, but it's not pleasant. It's gonna be freezing tonight. Oh my panda, it's gonna be cold. Holy panda. Guys, this is why I say support your local artist. Support your local musician. That person's homeless. That person's houseless. That person probably has a freaking New York sturge they get ripped off by every day or every month. Oh my panda. I'm thinking about ramen too again. That's why I brought ramen. I had ramen bowl last night at the Japanese restaurant over here. Uh, it was it was okay. Yeah, but I wanted more. It was too small of a bowl. This is what I'm saying about certain foods in certain areas of the United States. Some places you get more, some places you get less, but you pay more. It's just, oh my panda, why can I not get a break? So, with that said, everyone, I was so honest to answer. Oh, Rocky Fire, don't worry, dude. Free speech is your right. Okay? So, I don't try to say, hey, you wrong. No, I want to hear what you have to say so I can actually do something about it. Make difference, make change, make progress. Make something tick. Because I love to piss off government officials. Ooh. I don't mean that in a bad way, government, but I'm just saying you got some employees. Ooh, they need their ass kicked by some civilians that know their shit. I'm just saying. That's all. That's all. Just saying. But with that said, everyone, also want to stress the fact. Let's talk about this next story, okay? Now, I talked about this quite a few times on this channel. It's about Billionaires Road, okay? And the funny fact that I just realized about Billionaires Road is that it's only super ultra luxury apartments. You have to spend $15 million at least for a shoebox. For a shoebox. I kid you not. For a shoebox. But anyway, and here's the thing. The buildings down here are getting taller, but no one's actually vacating those locations. But there's a lot of investment in those condominiums or the shoeboxes, if you want to call them condominiums. I call it shoeboxes, but I digress. But here's the problem. You took all that real estate, you want skinny buildings that look like shoeboxes, but you don't want to house the homeless in New York City. That's a problem. And I'm not telling the rich what to do with their money, and I'm not saying what they should do with their money. But if you really want to help the city, you love the city so much, you want to live in the city so much, why don't you just build a facility with that money to help the houseless get back on their feet so they could be where you are. Because one day, one of these homeless people got a sweet, buttery, juicy, tender steak, good ass tofu idea. And they're gonna blow you away. And when that person becomes a millionaire, he's gonna say where he came from. I'll come from the streets, baby. And then they forget who they are after 2 years. Because now they get so adjusted to the rich life, they can do anything they want now. Not necessarily true, Fred. You gotta respect the law. Respect the law, respect your elders, respect the people, and you get everything what you want the way you want it. At a specific time, though, because things just drop from the sky. I wish they did, but if they did, I would definitely be on that train. But with that said, everyone, Janine isn't here. Good to see you. Seriously, someone, room, apartment. Wait. Seriously, someone, room apartments or apartments in NYC are like 7 feet wide. That's why I call them a shoebox. That's why I call the condominium shoeboxes. Because you spend all that money when you can literally invest that money into something better. I know having prime real estate in New York City might be important to you, and I don't see that. In my opinion, that's not my goal. That might be someone's goal because I see the investment in it. But you got too many of these unoccupied condominium apartments. The competition it's there. So good luck, friend. Are you going to live stream making yourself a fresh bowl of ramen? Maybe if I can get more funds for the hostel to stay, but I can't. If I can't maintain, people buying prints from me. I've been trying to sell prints and to mail them off. After I'm done printing it, I proofgrade it, I check it out to make sure everything's the way it is, and I put it in like in an envelope. The envelope should be crush proof, but depends on where I ship it to and who I ship it with. United States Postal Service, I don't trust those people anymore. Stephen, Konai, up for a 3x5 PO box now. It's $50. That's just insane. Like, really. But anyway, back to the next story. So the poorest neighborhoods in New York City as of 2022 of January 9th is District 16, which is the West Bronx, Morrisana. I guess that's Morrisana. That's the Bronx. Highbridge, which is in the Bronx. Melrose, which is on the 4 line in the Bronx. District 17, Moswell, Longwood, Hunts Point, and Corona Park. But I want to add a couple other neighborhoods to this list here because, they said top 5, but, Canarsie is that top 5. Lots of gun and lots of violence in the neighborhood. So this, let's put that out there. And there's been more activity happening in Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn than there was last year. So let's add that to the mix. Oh, let's add Midtown. You didn't add Midtown. These people didn't add Midtown. Midtown has so much crime and traffic and theft, and it's not the poorest, no, but it's the most violent. But this is about poorest neighborhoods in New York City. So, in my opinion, poorest neighborhoods in New York City is Canarsie. Some parts of Bed-Stuy, if you look at it carefully, you see there's a poverty mix, even though most of Bed-Stuy is run by some of the popular and, established Jews in New York City that made themselves a name here in New York City, family tradition, family wealth, family business, and that's great. And then you have other neighborhoods that is dominating only blacks, with a little bit of Spanish. You have mixed with black and Latino Spanish. So New York is just everywhere. But I noticed Queens, some parts of Queens, which I'm not going to say what parts of Queens, just for their safety. But I noticed they're not on the map because it's pretty dominant and nice over there. And you guys know what I'm talking about. If you watch this channel long enough, you know what I'm talking about. But with that said, everyone, so New York wastes 4 million tons of food every single year. Why? Why? It's a, almost a third of that is food waste. You sure about that, New York City? I got so much evidence on you right now. It make you look like you're lying. Because we got footage when we was at Garden Eden. All that vegan vegetables and food, fresh, in white, clear trash bags. Oh, West Side Market is another place in Manhattan that loves to waste food. Oh, my panda, you telling me you waste for only 4 million tons of food? I could probably say you probably waste 15 tons of food a year. I mean, you see people throw away food in this hostel? Oh my panda, that's part of the added bonus. Okay, you know you see much restaurants and people that eat at restaurants throw away much food. Come on, 4 million tons? No, it's more like 15 million tons. That's just don't listen to these weird. Well, it is not inaccurate. It's a lot of food. That's a lot of food. 4 million tons is a lot of food. You could literally feed Ethiopia, parts of South Africa and North Africa, and Northern Africa. Oh my panda. Oh my panda. Do I need to say any more to make this video more open-minded and more? Can I don't know. Maybe can I open your minds and see what is really taking place here in this country and this city of New York City? What is really the downside of this? You should make some panda merch. I know, but that's expensive. I gotta invest in that, dude. I used to. Guys bought the shirts, and then I stopped making shirts because seriously, like there was no funding coming in for the projects that I wanted to do. There was no sponsorships. There's no, even though sponsorships do pay for some things, but then you have to like agree to their terms, and that's something that I don't like to do when I review products like this. I don't want to be in that category. Like, yeah, pay me and I kiss your ass. I don't want to kiss ass. I want to do it my way, the way I like to do it. It's freelance it, real world. This is how it worked for me on this day. The next day it malfunctioned. This day I didn't care for it. I used something else. So take it with a grain of salt. Highbridge is in the Bronx. That's why I'm very scared to go over there because I used to go there quite a bit to skate. But with that said, everyone, I also wanted to share my experience. Hopefully, can I brighten this up? Yeah, let's just brighten this up. Okay, it looks a little brighter. Yeah, that looks better. Yeah, it looks. See, that's about a 20-second delay. Yeah, that's about a 20-second delay. So I'm pretty satisfied with that delay. See, low latency. If you have good Wi-Fi, you tweak it, and you go into the YouTube settings, and you say, I want low latency, baby. Don't put it on normal. Don't put it on normal. But with that said, everyone, so let's get to back to the topic. What about my safety when I'm out there? That's my biggest concern right now. If you come to think about it, this is what makes me afraid of New York City. This is what makes me cautious about New York City. The way people are behaving, misbehaving, or treating others, it doesn't seem right. It just doesn't feel right either. So yes, I'm as paranoid as you are right now to go out there and try to take on the world, which I never tried to take on the world. I tried to take it with a grain of salt. But I also wanted to share that I am also worried about some of the days that I might be out there and I want to actually document something as I'm actually experiencing myself being homeless. So, yeah. So if you guys want to support, keep me off those crazy streets, you guys know what to do. There's always a description. Click that, follow, hit the thumbs button. But also, if you guys want to support financially directly, there's a PayPal, Cash App, Venmo. But I wanted to do this live section here in the studio. I should have got closer to the camera so I can kind of blur that out in the background. But I do got this big old diffuser. I'm gonna show you the diffuser. This big giant diffuser. Oh my panda. gotta gotta make that skin. You gotta let that chocolate skin glow, right? You gotta get the bounce light on that. So with that said, everyone, keep doing what you're doing. God bless you. Protect you always. Yeah, thanks. I appreciate that. I really do. Really appreciate you guys tuning in, and hopefully you guys got a little bit of sense of everything that you need to know, a little bit more about New York City, what the problems are, and let me tell you, shelters here in New York City are not safe. I wish the mayor stopped pushing it. Like, I literally need to sit down with the Eric Adams, the mayor of New York City, and say, dude, you understand the conditions in these shelters. Your colleagues might not tell you the truth. Your colleagues might tell you, oh, don't worry about the homeless, because that's what they tell you to do. That is not part. Only worry about them when they cause a problem in the subway or cause a problem for civilians. And let's put a label on them. Let's put them aggressive. Ping! Yeah. Be labeled as aggressors. That's not very nice, Mayor Adams. That's what your message was saying. The homeless are aggressors. But after last night, are we aggressors? We are victims of the same probable cause that every other civilian has to go through every single day. So, with that said, everyone, I just figured that maybe you should know about this. Did people just walk in my room? They didn't knock? What the? I was staying at a shelter for a while, but left. Didn't feel like it was. See, this person here, RC3 NYC says, I've been staying at a shelter for a while, but I left. Didn't feel like it felt mostly like jail. That's what these shelters are designed to make you feel incompetent. Listen, Mayor of New York City, if I want to make myself feel incompetent, make my depression even worse, make my anxiety or my traumas worse, then I would go to a fucking shelter. But you don't force a shelter when you know it for your own self that it's also a problem that needs to be addressed. There is corruptions in your 501c3 sector in New York City. There is corruption when it comes down to knowing people's rights. And understanding, flexing those human rights on top of the civil rights. Because what you, Mayor Adams, are doing, and I respect you, but there are some things that you said that really concern me. And it's always how you address the homeless. And then last night, I saw a different side of you. But no one can identify this homeless man because you never gave that homeless man a chance to make it into society because you and also millions single him out because he didn't have the education necessities, he didn't have the motor skills, and sometimes people have these problems keeping up. Because think about it, this guy is old, And we are still young. You think this guy's gonna keep up with these smartphones and these laptops and this technology, these Bluetooth, these what's noise canceling oscillation headphones, man? You think they can actually handle that education just like that? Some people are competent to do it and some people are not. This is why we still have to give them an educational chance to make it into society. And when you don't, you create a problem. You create people with non-education skills, no hobbies, therefore homelessness takes place in their life. Then they start doing drugs and alcohol because they feel like no one ever cared about them. In New York City, you have a problem doing that. Open your freaking heart and start telling people what they need to hear. I know some New Yorkers are hard to deal with because they don't want these new homeless shelters being built in their communities because they fear that it's going to bring a lot of tension, a lot of more problems, and unsettled problems, which could be true or false. But if you had the right people in place and know from the bad from the good, and I'm not saying you should single someone out, but you know this person has 18 priors versus this person that has no priors or just one prior. It's like that woman, that 82-year-old woman that killed another woman, 63-year-old woman, and cut her body parts up. Yeah. You gave her a home in Manhattan. Can I be on parole and get a home? Like literally, can I be on parole? Cause I ain't really do anything. But can I get a what was it, 50 Penn Street somewhere? Like can I get a home? If I do a bad crime, can I get a home after? The fuck is this system all about? How do you got good people out there suffering? Yeah. And mind you, she was committed. She was committed for murder not once but twice in the past before. Oh my panda! I'm not even going to talk about it, but oh my, I feel like the dark side of New York City is bubbling up to the surface. It already has. It already has. I pray it's not going to go as bad as 1980s. Dude, it feels like 1980s. I'm looking at you. It feels like the 1980s. People are doing dumb shit. You literally are stealing. Like I said earlier, people are stealing for the smallest things. People are doing things just to hurt people. This is the 1980s, right? We should have been past that already. Our human species should have evolved in a better intellect, but instead, we just refused. Lolo is in the house. Mendez, how you doing? Thank you for the support. Love you too. But Space Junk, I get what you guys are saying, but still, it's just the fact that this, all of this, all this torment, this 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 rush to anxiety to harm people and put fear in people should not be a part of the city or any other city in the world. Damn, we're supposed to be the best civilization in the universe, and we acting like a bunch of monkeys. Jeez. I don't even know what to say now after that, because we are just being wild, untamed, spoiled humans. So with that said, everyone, oh my panda. All right, I'm not trying to make this live stream go too far and too long. So with that said, everyone, I just want to say my thanks and my support. Uh, Let's pray for the homeless in New York City, shall we? Can we do that? Because there are a lot of homeless people out here that wish they can have a hostel to stay in or a safe place to stay, not a fucking shelter. It's not really ideal to place someone in a shelter knowing that the shelter is part of the problem. There's no security, no safety net, no one to listen other than put him down as a statistic. So, but with that said, everyone, I appreciate your time. Thank you for tuning in. It's been an hour. Arigato. I appreciate your time. And if you guys, like I said, all you have to do is share the content, subscribe. If you're already subscribed, hit the notification bell. If you don't hit the notification bell, you got those already checked. Just share the content on your Facebook, your Instagram, your Twitter account. Make sure people can see the videos so they can actually have their own expressions here on this video, on this channel, and in the comments below. You have a right to have your freedom of speech. You have the right to say what you want to say. This is why I created this channel, but I also created this channel for educational purposes and to actually get to the bottom line. If we were a better society, we wouldn't go through these problems that we are facing today. And I guarantee it, I really do have the hope that our society, our culture, our civilization will do a little bit better to preserve it. Because creating homeless is not preserving it. You're killing off offspring. I'm just putting it out there. But with that said, everyone, I'm the ThePandaPhotographer. I'm a sorry, I said, I'm a travel consultant, documentarian, and photographer. And this is my YouTube channel. And everyone calls me Panda. No one ever calls me by my real name. But with that said, everyone, I appreciate your time. And thank you for watching. And I will see you guys in the next live stream. See you. I give it 20 seconds. Thank you for the update. My aunt family decided to go back to Queens, so I hope she's okay. She's in her 60s and she's Asian, and I don't understand why she's so close back to New York City. I don't understand either, but you know what? New York City is a very special place, I tell you that. But with that said, everyone, thank you guys, and I will see you guys in the next video. And thank you for all your comments, and keep it going, guys. But don't forget, support and share. And I'll see you guys next one. Peace.